Hey guys, I'm Deepthi and in this video we're going to be swatching a bunch of new lipsticks and liquid lipsticks in my collection. So I have some of the latest launches, some are not new launches, but I always wanted to try them out. So let's get started with the swatches. The first one we have is from MAC. This one is the Lock Kissed Ink Liquid Lipstick in the shade Poncy, which is a very beautiful deep red shade, and it was something that I was meaning to try out for the longest time. But one thing with this formulation is the lighter shades are much more comfortable, much more long wearing, and feel nice on the lips throughout the day. I mean, they do dry your lips out a teeny tiny bit, but not to a very great extent like a typical liquid lipstick would. And I have worn this for the longest time, and I've worn the lighter shade for a really long time, and I really like it. And it's thin, but it's transfer proof, but it masks the pigmentation of my lips, and it just feels really nice. But the deeper shade, however, is a little bit too drying, and it can get a little too flaky on lips. So that is something I want you guys to keep in mind. But it's a beautiful shade, and I absolutely love this deep red shade. You can already see there's sort of like a little bit of a rim forming towards the center of my lips, which is not my favorite. So yeah, I want to swatch a couple of different MAC lipsticks. I have just 2 more MAC lipsticks and then move on to the next brand. And this one is the MACximal matte lipstick, and this is in the shade Warm Teddy. I don't see the shade in the full size, so I saw it in this mini variant and I picked it up immediately as soon as I saw it, and I also had a coupon on Nykaa. I absolutely love this shade. It's a very subtle pinkish brown shade for my lips, which I absolutely love. And one thing I want to tell you guys is that the formulation of this bullet is a little bit rigid. You have to apply a lot of pressure to get the color to show up on your lips. I'm not sure if it's just this shade or just the mini variants in general, but it's not as smooth as the previous MAC mini lipsticks that I own. So just an FYI. If you are any deeper than my skin tone, this wouldn't flatter you. If you have like very deep pigmented lips, again, this wouldn't flatter your skin tone and your lip pigmentation. But for me, it works out pretty well, and even on my like no makeup days, it's not something that washes me out, so I absolutely love that. Next up, we have the MAC Powder Kiss Liquid Lipstick in the shade Pretty Pleats, and I was requested quite a bit to try this shade out and also possibly find a dupe for this, but I'm not sure if I can do that because just look at this shade. It's a beautiful deep burgundy shade with a little bit of brown undertones to it. It is pretty pigmented if you like layer it pretty evenly on your lips, and it's not a transfer proof formulation. But what I really love about these Powder Kiss liquid lipsticks is that you can layer it on your other lipsticks and they give you this beautiful blurring finish on your lips, and that's what you should be using this for. But if you're expecting it to be a super long lasting liquid lipstick, it's not like that. So next up, I'm going to be swatching the Kiro Glossfinity Creme Gloss. This is a new launch from Kiro. They have 8 different shades, a nude for every mood. So different nude shades of glosses for each and every skin tone, and you can pick and choose for different occasions and different outfits, and you can dress it up or dress it down. So this is said to be the GOAT, glossiest of all time, as I can see from their website, which it is a beautiful glossy formulation which is high shine. I feel it's like a hybrid product. You think it's a lip lacquer, but it's not as thick and sticky as a lip lacquer, but it's not very sheer like a lip gloss. It has the right amount of pigment, so it's a pigmented lip gloss. It is a high shine lip gloss, and it doesn't feel sticky one bit. Okay, and it doesn't dry your lips out. It's made with ingredients that is intensely hydrating on your lips, and it remains that way even after you're wearing it for like several hours. It doesn't suck the moisture out of your lips. It has really good color payoff, and I absolutely love it. So irrespective of your skin tone, you are bound to find a shade for yourself. The first shade we have is called Pink Petal, which is a very light muted pink shade which would look really nice on people of light and light medium skin tones. The next shade we have is called 02 Smoked Plum, which is a little bit more deeper than the previous shade that I showed, but also a little more muted and has subtle lilac hints to it. Again, would flatter people up to light and light medium skin tones. It does look really nice on me, but I would prefer wearing this with a full face of makeup on. The next shade we have is 03 Blushing Apricot, and by the way, these beautifully stain your lips too, which I really like. They don't really have any plumping effect, so that could be uncomfortable for a lot of people. This is just a beautiful formulation to give you that comfort, to give you that shine, but just something you can wear throughout the day. And this is the shade Blushing Apricot, which is a very peachy pink kind of a shade. So I really like how it looks on my lips. It's not like highlighting anything, it's not settling onto the lines of my lips, or nor is it exaggerating anything. You can see there's no dryness, nothing, exaggerated, and it just looks beautiful, even shiny. Just look. You know, my lips look so much more fuller, so much more beautiful without that, you know, tingling, plumping effect. And I absolutely love it. Next, we have the shade number 04, which is called Rose Petal. Oh my god, I love this shade. It's a mix of a peachy brown shade, and it's so much more flattering on my skin tone, and definitely a more wearable shade for medium and medium tan skin tones. Next up, we have the shade Caramel Swirl. This is like a muted orange peach sort of a shade. One thing I can assure you, first of all, my lips are stained from these glosses. They actually feel super hydrating on my lips. See? No dryness. Next up, we have 06 Nutty Nutmeg. Why do I have a feeling that I am going to love this shade? Yes, I knew I would love it because anything nutmeg from Kiro just are so good, and it's like their signature word, nutmeg. So they have the shade Warm Nutmeg, Nutmeg Nude, all of that so flattering on Indian skin tones. This is also a really beautiful shade. Again, would suit medium tan skin tones. I can see myself reach out for this one so much. Then we have 07 Berry Burst. Beautiful pink with, like, you know, a little bit of like a dusty earthy undertone to it. It's not like your typical deep pink shade or like your lilac-y pink shades. Beautiful shade this one is. Again, would flatter so many different skin tones irrespective of if you're light medium tan and deeper skin tone. You know what, I just feel like wearing this throughout the video, but we have a couple of different shades to swatch, so I'll have to remove this right now, but I'm loving it. The last shade we have is called Cocoa Walnut, which is a cool toned nude shade for my skin tone, and I really like this shade as well. I love all the shades. I know this is supposed to be like a nude range of lip glosses, but Kiro, please launch these in like deep pink shades, burgundy, darker shades as well. We are gonna love it because this is so good, you guys. So good. Irrespective of your preference for lip products, just try one shade from this, and I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Just look at my lips. You guys know I have chronic dry lips, and usually there'll be a line, there'll be some flakiness, there'll be dryness, and I've got comments asking me to moisturize my lips before I do a lip swatch, but this is just left my lips feeling so hydrated. I really like the shades, and I really like how it looks on my lips. I just wish that there were a little bit more deeper shades, like deeper brown shades. I will of course link all these products in the description box below. I don't really have to mention this each time, but you guys know to check the description box for the links of these products. Super impressed, and this look hydrated. And if you guys are looking for like a cruelty-free vegan brand, Kiro is where you're supposed to look. They have pretty good ingredients in their products. They're like skincare infused brand. Before the skincare infused makeup even became a thing, Kiro was doing it. And also they have really nice products that feel really nice and gentle on the lips and gentle on the skin as well. And nothing from this brand that I've tried out has disappointed me so far. So yeah, another hit from them. Next up, swatching the Fae Lip Whips. This is a very beautiful formulation. It's like a mousse, but it dries down pretty much matte on your lips, and it's pretty much transfer proof. It's not very drying on the lips. They have so many different shades for different skin tones. You don't really have to do a lot of things to just pull off a shade. You don't really have to buy a lip liner that would match it just to make that particular shade work. It wouldn't wash you out. You can see the model, like, you know, the image of how these lip shades look on the model and pick it up, and you're pretty much going to get the exact same shade. So they're very inclusive like that, and they also are very experimental. They have a lot of unique shades in this particular range, which I really like, and I find it to be really nice and comfortable, very easy to wear on a day-to-day basis. So they have a couple of different shades, like newer shade launches, which I did pick up, and this one that I have, which is called Safeword, is from their previous launch, which is a beautiful pink shade, like a pinky nude shade for my skin tone. From the swatches I saw, I thought it was more of a brown shade, but on me it just looks pink with subtle, very subtle mauvey brown undertones to it, but it's a very wearable shade, and I would suggest this for people up to like medium tan skin tones, but not anywhere deeper than that, because it might wash you out, and with the natural pigmentation of your lips it might look a little too bright. Next up we have the shade called Ride, which is a beautiful warm brown shade, but it also has subtle mauve undertones undertones to it, and it makes it a very different kind of a shade. I'm not sure if I have anything like this in my collection. So beautiful. Next up we have the shade called Dare, which is straight up a warm brown shade. For my skin tone, I can't see much of an undertone shift in this, and it's a very beautiful shade nonetheless. Next shade we have is called Thirsty, which is a beautiful deep brown shade with a little bit of red undertones to it. Again, a very, very beautiful shade, not one bit patchy, really nice and comfortable on the lips. The last shade we have is called Tempt. Beautiful deep plum shade, would flatter so many different skin tones out there. I just find that this shade alone, it's a little bit runny, so it isn't masking the pigmentation of my lips completely, and I have to go over it a couple of times. I just noticed that only with this particular shade and not any other shade in this range. Next up, swatching the LoveChild by Masaba Bare Browns Ultra Matte Lipstick. I have 3 shades. This was sent to me again, and I have the shade 03 called Melting Mocha. This is like a subtle brown nude shade for my skin tone. The formulation of this is really nice and creamy, but it's not a matte lipstick in my opinion, even though the name suggests that it's matte. I find it to be really comfortable, like a creamy matte formulation. Yes, it is, and it's nice and pigmented. The next one we have is called Mummylicious. This shade alone, I don't find it to be as pigmented as the previous shade, and I find it to be a little bit like not so flattering on my skin tone. It's a orangish warm caramel brown shade. The last shade from this range is called Lux Latte. It's like a deeper warm brown shade. Again, would look really nice on people of deeper skin tones as well. I feel this is quite similar to the shade Burfi from their other lipstick. I feel like it could be similar, I'm not sure. Next up, I have just one shade from Lakme Lip Mousse. This is in the shade Dark Cherry. This was always in my wish list, and I picked it up during the flat 50% off. And this is what the shade looks like. It's a deep purple shade, but it's a very wearable shade. And I have seen this on much deeper skin tones, and it looks so beautiful, and it wouldn't look as dark and grungy, and it's a little bit more wearable if you have much deeper skin tone. Next up, we have a couple of different lipsticks from L'Oreal. This one is their Color Riche Intense Matte Lipsticks, I think, and I have 3 shades which caught my attention. The first one we have is called Le Nude Unapologetic. I've already done like a dedicated shots video on these. Has a little bit more of like a cool purple undertone compared to Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Medium, but this is a little bit more pigmented on my lips, which is making it a little bit more wearable. Not that the shade is wearable, but because of the formulation, it is at least showing up on my lips, which is not the case with Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Medium. And these lipsticks are really nice, pigmented, creamy, comfortable matte formulations. Next up, we have the shade called Worth It Intense, which is really popular. This looks a little bit grungy and purple on my skin tone, but if you have deeper skin tone with an olive undertone and all of that, this looks so much more wearable. But I really like this shade on myself as well, because this is like my kind of shade. It's my preference and something I reach out for so much, which I get asked a lot about, like, why are you not wearing reds and pinks? Why always these very dull shades? Because I like it. The last shade we have is called Le Nude Assertive, which is a deep burgundy shade with a little bit of brown undertones to it. I like it on myself, and I can see myself reaching out for it. It's really nice and pigmented as well. Next up, also from L'Oreal, I picked up their liquid lipstick. This is in the shade Worth It Medium. I just wanted to see if it was like Pillow Talk Medium. But this is a little bit more of a peachy pink shade. Next up from NYX, we have the shade called Boundary Pusher. This is said to be their gloss lip color, Shine Loud Gloss lip color. So it has the lip color on one side and the gloss on the other side, and I think it's supposed to be like transfer proof. I'm not sure. So let me just try this out first. It's definitely my kind of nude shade. I'm gonna just let it dry down for a bit to see if it's like a transfer proof gloss. So it is a little bit sticky. Like, I did let it dry down for like about 3 minutes, and it is a little bit sticky, just like the Maybelline lip gloss. But see, I'm not even able to talk. And now the shine is completely faded away, and it feels like any other matte lipstick. Yeah, so it's not transferring, but it's feeling like gum on my lips. This is not the first time I'm actually trying this out. I have tried it before, and I still had a similar experience. Just let me know if there's a way to work around this one. So I'll just apply the gloss end of it and see if it makes it a little bit I've not watched any like reviews about this. I'm not sure how this works, but once I applied the gloss, the stickiness dried, like it toned down completely. It doesn't feel as sticky. It feels a lot more comfortable on my lips, and yeah. But does it make it transfer proof? Okay, only the gloss transfers, of course, because the lipstick has set, it's not transferring. But yeah, it's not like the vinyl ink, I think. So it's not like that. But, I mean, you apply the gloss, so it has a little bit of shine and the gloss transfers, but the liquid lipstick, because it's dry down, doesn't transfer. So yeah, it's a little bit better than the Maybelline vinyl ink, but I'm not sure why we're putting our lips through this. Also from MAC, I have the shade called Amorous, which is a satin lipstick. I got this as a free product. It's a very purplish pink shade on my skin tone. I'm not sure if I like this. And then from Charlotte Tilbury, I have their lip blur in the shade Rose Blur, which I wanted to pick up for quite some time now, and I got this on a discount. This is too much of a brighter pink for my skin tone. I just don't like it on myself. And then also from Charlotte Tilbury, I have their lipstick, and this is in the shade Mark of a Kiss. I also got the lip liner, which I'm not going to be swatching today, but just the lipstick. This is too much of a brighter red kind of a shade. Has a little bit of like a neonish pink undertone to it, but I like it on my skin tone. It makes me look fresh, makes me look more awake. And then moving on, we have something from Huda Beauty, which I picked up during the Cult. I picked up from the Cult app, which I wouldn't recommend doing anymore because they haven't been shipping any orders, and I had to call them up for a refund, which I did get, but I wouldn't shop again until they maybe fix those issues. The first one we have is the Huda Beauty Power Bullet lipstick. This is in the shade First Kiss, which I actually really like. It's looking really nice. More on again the tones of Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Medium. This is how Pillow Talk Medium looks on my lips, minus the pigmentation. Next up we have the shade called Rendezvous, which is a peachy pink shade, and it actually is not masking up the pigmentation of my lips, and the darkness is peeking through. We have the Huda Beauty liquid lipstick. This one is in the shade Bombshell, which is a very popular shade, but I don't think this would flatter my skin tone. It's again a little bit too peachy, too neon, and it's patchy looking on my lips, which is not my favorite. I don't know why this shade is popular. Of course, if you have lighter skin tone and lightly pigmented lips, I think you would like it. Then from Rom, and I got this free product. Okay, this is a free product. This is the lipstick in the shade Sweet Pea, I guess. Yeah, that's what I remember seeing it. Where did I see it? Beautiful shade, and it's blurring on the lips. This reminds me so much of the MAC Powder Kiss lipsticks. The bullet lipsticks is matte, but it's again something that can blur your lips out, has a powdery matte finish. Last up, also from L'Oreal, this is a beautiful plummy pink shade in the shade Why Not. This is not a new product in my collection. It is something I already own, but I don't remember if I swatched it or not. So yeah, here's the swatch of the shade Why Not, which is a beautiful deep plummy pink shade. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Do let me know if you want to watch more such lip swatches, what other videos you'd like to watch. Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.